This machine is a Janome MemoryCraft 9700. The problem with this sewing machine is has a failed feed lifting cam. And what the feed lifting cam is, I've put the machine on its back, that as the sewing machine turns, it turns the timing belt, which links the top shaft with the lower shaft. The top shaft controls the needle and the movement of the needle, and the bottom shaft here controls the hook, which makes the stitch where the bobbin case and all that goes, and the feed lifting cam, as well as the feed adjustment cam, the feed stitch length cam. So the lower shaft goes across. This gear controls the hook, but what we're concerned with is this feed lifting cam. And what the feed lifting cam is it's an eccentric, which means that it's off center. The shaft goes through the center of the cam, and it has lobes which are not symmetrical. So as the machine turns, you can see the top of the cam here is flat. And as it turns, a lobe here emerges and lifts farther from the center than the rest of the cam. So as it turns, if you keep your eye up on the top here, if you keep your eye on the top, it's flat, and then as the cam goes, it lifts up a little higher, and so this part here becomes higher. The same goes on this side. So as it turns, it's flat, and then it's supposed to lift up a lot higher. And what it's lifting up is this plate here. This cam, if I lift it up into the light a little bit better, might be able to see it a little bit better. The cam here makes contact with this plate, and the machine's upside down right now, but when I push on this, it makes the feed dogs lift up, and this cam here makes contact here, and it controls the height of the feed dog. So what happens is, as this plastic cam makes contact with this metal plate, and this part of the plastic cam makes contact with this metal plate, there's friction. And when you have a lot of debris, I've already cleaned a lot of this stuff out, but there's a lot of lint, fuzz, material that gets in between there, and plus just the friction of the metal and the plastic, it gets worn. And so you can see very clearly on this cam, if we get up really close, this portion here is still shiny because it hasn't made contact with this metal plate. But at the spot here where it touches the edge of this plate underneath, it gets scratched and worn. And so consequently, as it turns, I'll get it on the angle, you can see that it's quite worn. And it doesn't look like a whole lot, except when this machine is very precision, so the stitch is not going to look very good because it's not going to lift it and control the length and the lift very well. And the same goes with this one. This is the shiny part where it's not made any contact with the plate, and this part, the other part, which has. And so it gets quite worn. A new cam, they actually have, it's different color now. Make sure I have this oriented properly. I believe it goes this way. And you can see that this is not worn at all. Get it away from there. And so if we again look on the top, as it turns, it will lift properly. So what has to happen here is these bushings, these retainers on the end the set screws, the washers, the spring, the cam itself, the keeper inside that you can't see, the gear, this stitch length cam, and the timing belt and the associated parts on the end. All this has to be loosened, taken off, and the whole shaft has to be moved out so that the lifting cam can be removed and a new one put in. Then the shaft has to go back in and all the settings have to be reset. And of course it's all cleaned and such as it goes along. Then the stitch can be formed again properly. So that's the feed lifting cam on a Janome Memory Craft 9700. The same goes with a Janome 9000, the 8000s, the 7500, the 7000, all the way through the newer machines like the 10,000, the 10,001, the 11,000, the 6500, the 6600, and some of the smaller regular sewing machines.